Hello, I'm Lee Weatherly, and I'm going to give you a tour of my bookshelves. We're in my home office. This is kind of the front corridor of it. I've got my coffee because that's what I do in my home office. I drink coffee. When Maximum Pop first asked me to give you this tour, the idea was that maybe I could talk about how I organize my bookshelves. And I have to be honest, I did kind of think to myself, oh no, what am I going to do? Because the answer is there's no organization whatsoever. And I do see these gorgeous photos that some authors have of their books all organized by the colors of the rainbow, or all organized perfectly by genre, and yeah, things like that, which really I just kind of fling books at the shelves in very, very loose order. But I will talk you through it. These are my shelves and I love them. So here, really, really roughly, we have children's and YA. Up on the top shelves, I have classical. You can see that I don't actually read these very often because I'm 5'4", and I can't really reach. So I'll come back to these, but over here, these are all nonfiction, mostly. I see some James Cain there. Up on the top, this is how well organized it is. These are the tall books. So these are all the books that are really tall. That's the tallest shelf. And then from here down through here, we have nonfiction history. Mostly these are more sort of tall books and picture books and things there. Really like nonfiction books about things that have happened in the past. Down here, we have a lot of books about Hollywood, actors and actresses. I've always been really fascinated by the Hollywood of the 30s and 40s, so I have a lot of books on that. Down here, more tall books. Over here, books about politics, some sort of nonfiction hobbyist sort of books here, sewing, running, things like that. Here are my books on writing, so the sort of craft of writing. Biographies about writers and artists. I always find it really comforting to read these and realize that they're all totally mad. It's not just me. Really. Then here, more sort of reference books to do with writing, fairy tales and fables and things. More books about actors and actresses. They seem to have kind of slid over from here. More nonfiction. This is just sort of a hodgepodge over here. A pile of random books. I do try to keep things tidy. No, I don't, but they sort of breed anyway. Actually, we're moving in about, actually next week, or moving next week. If you'd seen my shelves about a month ago, there would have been just overflowing, but a lot of my books are in storage at the moment, so you're seeing the more sort of compartmentalized version of my shelves. So back to the children's and teen section. In terms of organizing my books, when I was a child, I did think, I'll have a go at that. My mother was a children's librarian, so maybe I felt sort of vaguely guilty that my shelves were in such disorder. So if you zoom in really quick, these are books by Lloyd Alexander. So what I thought I would do is have a sort of number system. So books 1, 3, and 5 were numbered by the publisher, 2 and 4 were not, so I added those numbers. And then I came to the next books on my shelf, which were the Great Brain series by John D. Fitzgerald, which are wonderful. Now here was a problem because I had another book 2, and I already have book 2 with the Black Cauldron, so I thought, okay, that would be book number 11. So painted 11 onto it with Tipp-Ex. And then I'm not sure how many books were in the Great Brain series. Not 14, however. Anyway, we came to Charlotte's Web, which was number 15, so there were books in between those two. Not enough books to make up F through W of the alphabet, though, so again, it's just sort of a random hodgepodge of books, and I was painting numbers onto them. I think at this point I got kind of bored, and the whole thing fizzled out, and I thought, yeah, this is on a hiding to nothing here. So yeah, children's, YA, I have these. Oh, these are kind of books by friends of mine. A lot of the ones on the shelf. So we have Liz Kessler, Lauren St. John, Joe Cotterill, who also writes under the name Joe Kenrick and is fantastic in both guises, Fiona Dunbar, Siobhan Dowd, who was a friend of mine and very sadly is no longer with us, Kath Langrish, who's fantastic, Zoe Marriott, who writes amazing books. She's really an author who I admire a lot. More books, Fiona Dunbar, Lynn Chapman. Really, I'm so lucky to have so many friends whose work I enjoy and have their work on my shelves. A lot of these books are sort of childhood favorites because the more modern books are in storage at this point. But yeah, these are my shelves, and I hope you have enjoyed this tour.